1 2 1 2. One two 1 2. Hello, folks. It's Stuart Murdoch here, and we're here to do another. We're here to do another meditation. Thank you for coming back. I try to change our backdrop to like a nice springtime backdrop because we're almost there. You know, things are getting a lot greener outside. It's pretty beautiful. I know that a lot of us are cooped up inside, but I hope that you're getting outside, at least some of the time, sneaking in a little walk or doing something, staying in the rules, of course. Unless you're actually watching from a corona-free country, and if you are, then welcome to our little group, and all power to you. And maybe you'll escape this thing. I hope you do. So, thank you for all your response from last week's meditation. It was great to hear from everybody all around the world. That was quite thrilling, actually, and it felt almost a little bit like being on tour again, except being at home. So the next best possible thing. So this week, actually, I'm going to try and get into the meditation a little bit faster, and we'll do a bit of chatting at the end, because I feel that after some of us have been in this thing for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, things are things are a little bit tense, in some households. So I think we need some emergency care. And so this meditation, I hope, is going to help. So I just want to say that actually a lot of this teaching, if you pick up any wisdom from this little talk or this meditation, it's because it's been passed on from my teachers at the Kadampa Buddhist Center, and ultimately from the books of Geshe Kelsang Gyatso. He's the man that wrote How to Solve Our Human Problems, which was a record that we had out last year or 2 years ago. So all that stuff is being filtered through my furtive imagination. And if any of I just want to say hi to any of the class and the teachers. If you're watching, I don't cringe too much. I hope I don't mess up too bad. You'll hear some things you recognize, and you'll hear some things you'll be like, where did he get them from? Where did he get that information from? That's not right. But I'm just gonna go for it. These are extraordinary times, and here we are. So the meditation we're going to do is in 2 stages, and that's like pretty much most of the meditations that we do, because the first stage is to calm your mind, and we usually do that by following the breathing. And once our mind is in what we might call a supple state, in a sort of calm state, a kind of lucid state, then we try to focus on a virtuous object. And the whole idea of focusing on this virtuous object is that it can change your mind. It will slowly change you. It'll just change the way you're feeling. It will hopefully have a kind of deep impact on you. So, that might be, you might be focusing on love or compassion or gratitude that we did last week. Something will change in you. But the first thing is to get into that sort of mindset. So I'm actually just going to turn my phone off. That, hopefully you're in a a position where you can get some peace and quiet. So that might be a good thing to turn your phone off. And let's get in a comfortable position. So hopefully sitting with a straight back, if you can manage that, that's better than just falling asleep. You don't have to be cross-legged. You can just sit in a chair. I'm just sitting in a chair with my feet on the ground. So let's start by closing our eyes. Or if you like, you can keep your eyes partially open. That's up to you. Let's start to bring our thoughts inward. Let's just start by letting go of the buzz of our normal thoughts. Doesn't matter what you have to do this afternoon. Doesn't matter what somebody said to you this morning. Just let it go. And let's start noticing our breath. Our beautiful breath that's been there all the time. I sometimes think it's like the waves on a beach. So without changing the way you're breathing, just observe it. And especially observe just the point of your nose where the breath first comes in and goes out. And if your mind starts to wander a little bit, just bring it back. You don't have to force it. Just calmly bring your attention back to the breath. That's the most important thing right now. Nothing else matters. Start to feel your mind settling. The background buzz is dying away a little bit. And it's a good feeling. So good for you. I can feel you meditating with me. And although we're not in the same room, it's a powerful thing. We're in it together. And the best thing about this is that now your mind's a little bit calmer. You might be able to feel your heart opening a little bit. And I'm talking about the bit of your heart where all the good stuff is. And it's actually there all the time. Okay, now that we're here, I want you to imagine any trouble that you're having, any anxieties or fears, stuff you've been carrying around with you, maybe frustrations or anger that's been building up. I want you to imagine that that stuff becomes like black smoke. And I want you to breathe that black smoke right out. And once it's out, it's just going to keep on going and it's gone. So just for a minute or so, just imagine breathing out black smoke. And this is working. This is real. You're actually changing yourself. Breathing out the black smoke. And this isn't just good for you. It's going to be good for everybody in your family or everybody in your house. Because you're getting rid of a lot of crap. And in fact, let's try to put something back in because our hearts are open just now. Let's put some of the good stuff back in. Maybe you could imagine white light going in as you breathe in. Try that for a few minutes. That's great. That's so great. Even if you don't see the white light, your intention is good. Have a little faith that good stuff is there, that is going in. That we're here, and you're getting a little psychic leg up now. I'm telling you, I'm so happy I did this. I'm really grateful that you're here. So, in your own time, you can start to come out of the meditation. Just one final thought. Any peace or any goodness that you've evoked, let's dedicate it to the good of everybody around us. Let's dedicate it to having a better week than the one just gone. And in your own time, open your eyes. Sometimes I don't like this, but when I'm sitting in the Buddhist class in Glasgow, and sometimes I don't want to open my eyes because you get into a pretty good place. That's okay. I'm just gonna talk for a few minutes. Take us up to the hour. You can keep your legs shut, keep your eyes shut, keep your legs shut as well. What was I going to talk about? So we're carrying on with these sort of funny times that we're having. And for a lot of us, a lot of you, things have maybe happened in the last few weeks that you just never experienced it or expected. And, perhaps you're so used to being in control of your surroundings and your environment and your family and what's happening to you. And suddenly, with a tiny thing like a virus, it's the control's gone. Everything's changed. Everything's out of control. And can I just say, obviously there's a lot of fear around this virus, but it's just really a tiny bit of DNA or something. It's not even a cell, I don't think. It certainly doesn't mean any harm. It's just going about its business. We shouldn't be innately fearful of this small bit of protein that's kicking around. But anyways, going back to the notion of control, Um, I've noticed that there seems to be two types of there seems to be two types of people. Maybe that I'm simplifying it a little bit, but those that can handle difficult situations, and those who have more trouble. And I don't know about you. I'm in the second category. When stuff happens, I'm just amazed at the way that some people get on with it. Um, Sometimes I think I'm like, are you crazy? Can you see what's happening? Um, it's almost like I I feel that anyway, that me and the, a lot of people around about, we we're running on 100% anyway. We've got nothing left to give. So that when something unusual, unexpected happens, it's like a real shock. And of course, it puts your mind into a bit of panic. So this stuff, if you're quarantining just now, then you might be around a lot more people than you're used to being in a small space, and it's claustrophobic. Or in fact, you could be the other direction. You could be completely on your own. And either way, that is that can be really stressful. Um, you also might notice that how much you miss certain people. If you just sit for a minute, I've been mentally sifting through my thoughts and my memories, my imagination, and thinking about people, and yeah, just realizing, you just realize how much love you have for some people that you can't see. You think really fondly of them, which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. But anyway, I mean, right about now, a lot of the time for a lot of families, it probably does feel like it's always Christmas, but without any of the good bits. A bit of a nightmare. Well, I'm not a big fan of Christmas, apart from the actual churchy bit. So yeah, it's hard. So what are you going to do about it? I mean, you can you can fight it, or you can try to accept it. And maybe you think, well, why should I accept it? I didn't ask for this. I don't want it. Um, I don't want this to last. I want things to go back to how they were. And you might be like, sod all this. It's totally rubbish. But I would maybe say to you, and this is what I'm trying myself, is maybe things will go roughly back to how they were. I don't think they will. I think they'll be slightly changed. But you know, even in this time, it still could be stretching on for months. Is it such a bad thing to try and change? Uh, because it might actually it, it might help you feel better right now. If you can try and bend a little bit, if you can if you can really try and change, from the inside. I know a lot of people say, well, that's just me. I'm an anxious person, or I'm an angry person, or I'm just, I'm quite a n- nervous person, or I've just got no patience. But those those are easy labels, and they're not they're not true, because if you were an angry person all the time, then you would die of anger. If you were an anxious person, you would die of anxiety. You wouldn't be able to sleep. And, so you're not anxious all the time. You're not angry all the time. I think it's possible to change your mind through the kind of things that we've just tried, through meditation and through practicing patience and acceptance. I know that it sounds quite a little bit glib to just say that, but I do believe that by trying these methods, it's like what I was saying last week about if you can manage to feel a tiny bit of peace in what we've just done, then I think it's possible to maybe feel a lot of peace, and actually to be able to apply these minds to our non-meditating time, which is really the tricky bit. I used to be a much angrier person than I am just now. I used to fight a lot, like when the band was just getting together. I mean, the first 2 or 3 years we just fought all the time. And I remember actually it was actually the guy who used to run Rough Trade Records, Jeff Travis. He said, anger it's never a good thing. It's just never necessary. And that was before I really got into these meditation classes, and in fact, one of the things that they always stress is that anger is just never a good thing. It just never does any good. You might think it does, but it's really not useful. It's possible to change things. It's possible to get justice. It's possible to, in fact, it's easier to change things and get justice if you don't get angry. But that's going down a different line. Anyway, I noticed that it's past 2:00, so I know this virus is a pain in the butt, but if we can accept what's going on, it could be the making of us. It could actually, something good could come out of this if we actually, as individuals, if you become a slightly more patient person because of all this stuff, then that's going to set you up for the rest of your days, so to speak. You're not going to forget this stuff. If you can get through this and come out of it just slightly more patient or slightly less fearful, or one of these things, then that's a good thing, and it's good for everybody else around you. All right, so thank you very much for listening again. I just ran over time a little bit. If you're rushing off somewhere, rushing back through to the living room or to the bathroom, let's do this again next week. If you have any suggestions for what you might want to meditate about, or what you might want me to chat about, then send them to the Facebook page. We check all that stuff out, and yeah, I just hope you have a great week, and that maybe some of this stuff has helped you. And there's more. If you ever want more substantial classes, there's the Kadampa meditation I do. They run classes like every day, and if you ever want to get deeper into this stuff, or actually double check what I was talking about, because I think I probably made a lot of mistakes. Okay, bye for now, folks.